Do you think it's a lot of undercover brothers in the industry?
Oh no, Queen. We don't know nothing about undercovers. Oh no.
About two people who me and my female escort friend, Mistress Carmen, saw as a team. I work with the female.
But like this been common knowledge though. Like all my promoter homies would always say, man, you know, we gotta bring some more. We gotta bring some, what they call them, I'm not gonna say it on here. They call them fun boys. They'll say, we gotta have some fun boys.
Netflix docuseries that you've been working on, Did He Do It?
Right.
You've been saying for years that you feel you knew Diddy's character.
50 Cent just dropped a straight up shocker on the whole music game, and he didn't hold back. Faces, names, and even wild footage were included. Diddy was front and center, but what had jaws dropping was the appearance of his alleged trans partner and none other than Busta Rhymes himself. The video shows 50 looking like he's pulling the strings behind the scenes like some kind of puppet master. But hold up, it gets even messier. Busta Rhymes is now being named as one of the secret party hosts. So it ain't just Diddy throwing these exclusive invite-only gatherings anymore. Things are getting deeper than anyone expected, and that's not even the wildest twist. Former trans escort Tony Newman just stepped into the spotlight and started naming big names. She's calling out what she says are underground cover-ups and off-the-books industry meetups that are way beyond innocent fun. It's giving cloak and dagger energy, some real hush-hush behavior. And of course, 50 Cent couldn't stay quiet. He's bringing the heat with receipts, hinting that the game has been dirtier than fans ever imagined. Even crazier, he teased that his upcoming Did He Do It documentary might spill even more of this mess. In the background of that clip, Busta Rhymes looks kinda uneasy, almost like things are starting to click, and not in a good way. This didn't look like a regular party, more like a whole dramatic production complete with roles, masks, and secrets. Sources close to the situation are whispering that this is just the tip of the iceberg. '50's been sitting on this for years, and now he's pressing play on all of it. Now it all makes sense why 50's always been poking fun at Diddy's crew, clowning those sketchy invites and side-eyeing the late-night vibes. Turns out those jokes had way more truth behind them than anyone guessed.
They can hug you from the front and the back of the scene now. Come on. If you lay to that, are fine with him.
Angie's all. I'm just saying the pink.
And now, the receipts are matching the energy. Busta Rhymes hasn't been safe from 50 Cent's sharp jabs either. 50's been roasting him for years, clowning everything from Busta's tight leather fits to those extra thirsty gym selfies and even his wild touch it, bring it attitude. At first, folks thought it was just jokes, maybe even friendly trolling him, but now with this video surfacing, people are starting to think 50 knew what was really going on from day one.
50 also know I'm not the same way he not going. We both come from a family called Violator family, so we ain't got no problem violating her.
He wasn't just playing around, he was hinting at something deeper the whole time. Back when Busta tried to clap back, people brushed it off, calling it harmless back and forth. But now, that one comment where Busta said he'd come for 50 is hitting different. People are digging it back up and wondering if he really meant it as a warning, and just when things couldn't get messier, boom, enter Tony Newman.
Announced about two people who me and my female escort friend, Mistress Carmen, saw as a team. I work with the female.
Tony is an activist, author, and former trans escort who's been fearless about exposing the entertainment industry's shady truths. She spent years speaking out, and now she's back, louder than ever. Tony claims that some of the biggest names in hip-hop are living double lives, and that it's been going on for decades. She says insiders, including folks who used to work for Bad Boy, have confirmed that Diddy's been doing more than just playing around behind the scenes. According to her, those pranks on both men and women, yeah, they weren't innocent jokes at all. Start putting the pieces together, it all lines up. If Diddy's deep in this mess and Busta Rhymes has been tight with him for years, things start looking real shady.
for Bad Boy, who have now departed, gays who were in Bad Boy, who even got told that he likes women, so he would have to be bi. I've heard Sean Combs in Act Message.
Let's not forget, Busta was one of the first to jump to Diddy's defense when that viral video of him getting way too touchy with Cassie hit the internet. Busta claimed folks were rushing to judge Diddy too fast.
Extremely sensitive, and I think that people don't keep in mind the effect of what their opinion can have. And I think it's really, really important that we reserve our opinions until we understand what the undisputed truth is, because an opinion can detrimentally affect someone.
But now that support is being looked at in a whole new light. But Tony Newman didn't just stop at Diddy. She dropped another bomb, saying that back when she was working the streets in NYC, she had a one-night hookup with LL Cool J. She claims LL knew exactly who she was, paid for the night, and kept the vibes going with no shame or confusion. Here's where it gets real messy. Tony says LL's team lost it when she started speaking out. Allegedly, they hit her with legal threats and tried to shut her down with cease and desist letters just to keep his name out of her mouth.
Then another cease and desist letter second time, March Satan, on behalf of LL Cool J, to my whole team again after I did the New York interview.
And it doesn't end there. According to Tony, both Diddy and Busta tried the same playbook. She claims they scrambled to silence her the moment she started sharing what she had personally seen and lived through. This ain't just about protecting reputations, it's about burying dirty secrets deep. What Tony's saying is that the industry didn't just protect these stories, it erased them on purpose. And let's not forget, word is Diddy shelled out $50,000 to hotel staff just to keep that Cassie Hotel video under wraps. If they drop that kind of cash to hide one clip, imagine what else they've paid to make disappear. What other receipts got swept under the rug? Tony Newman even brought up something else. She said Biggie Smalls had a very close friend who was open in private, but the public never knew who he was. That part of his life stayed locked away, just like everything else in this secretive scene.
And I think his entourage, Biggie Smalls, had a guy. Mr. C's evidently a box producer. Lord knows who else he might have had in that entourage.
Now put that next to what Nicki Minaj once said. Remember when she made that bold claim about there being plenty of covert brothers in the industry? She wasn't talking about folks hiding money moves or drug deals. She was talking about men hiding their attraction to other men. That comment hits way harder now.
Do you think it's a lot of undercover brothers in the industry?
Oh no, Queen. We don't know nothing about undercovers. Oh no.
Let's circle back to those wild parties. Busta Rhymes wasn't just showing up for the vibes. He was allegedly one of the regular hosts. And according to people close to those scenes, Busta wasn't inviting bottle girls or Instagram models to the VIP. Sources are saying he had a type, and it wasn't who fans would expect. One man who used to be tight with security teams in the industry went public and said it loud. Busta was known for making strange requests in the club. He wanted young men brought into his section. Not for music, not for drinks, for something way more secretive.
My thing, bro, like this been common knowledge though. Like all my promoter homies would always say, man, you know, we gotta bring some we gotta bring some, what they call them, I'm not gonna say it over here. They call them fun boys. They'll say, we gotta have some fun boys.
This ain't hearsay. This is coming from someone who says he witnessed it firsthand and wasn't scared to say it out loud. Suddenly, all those whispers about Busta and Diddy sharing fanboys don't sound so far-fetched anymore. These weren't just some random guests popping up at parties for fun. According to insiders, they were handpicked, like party favors, wrapped up neat, and passed around like VIP perks. That brings us to a name that's always raised eyebrows, Orlando Brown.
Who you made love with? Bow Wow, Busta Rhymes. You just told me you seen Busta in the airport too.
No.
Now slow it down here for a second. Yeah, Orlando has said some wild stuff over the years. He's stirred up chaos, gotten himself into mess after mess, and honestly, some of his claims sounded straight up out there. But one thing's for sure, he's always captured the vibe in the room, no matter how offbeat his delivery is. And guess what? Years ago, Orlando said he hooked up with Busta Rhymes. At the time, folks laughed it off, called him crazy, said he was just chasing attention again. But now, with escorts speaking up, leaked tapes dropping left and right, and big names being called out, it ain't sounding so crazy anymore. People are starting to wonder if Orlando was one of those young men allegedly invited by Diddy to these infamous gatherings and then shared with other guests like Busta. This wasn't some one-off wild night. If you read between the lines of what Orlando said over the years, he's hinted at being used, passed around, and thrown into some seriously shady business deals. He's talked about being exploited, not just emotionally, but professionally too. And here's the kicker. Busta Rhymes has always been quick to shut down any talk when it comes to bedroom preferences, if you catch the drift. Now, the silence is starting to sound a lot louder. For someone who's been accused of doing so much behind the scenes, Busta Rhymes has a long history of shutting down anything that even brushes the topic. Let's rewind to 2006. At a bar, he reportedly hurled a homophobic slur at a male fan. Then just a year later in 2007, during a radio interview, the host tried to open a conversation about homophobia in hip-hop. Busta didn't argue. He didn't even respond. He just stood up and dipped out the room. No words, nothing. People were confused.
Whatever that man does in his personal space is that man's choice, and it's that man's business.
Even back then, the silence was loud. In those infamous tapes, it doesn't stop there. Rumors say some of that footage has been floating around for a while now. Word is, wild videos from Diddy's private parties are being shopped around the dark web, showing scenes that are allegedly jaw-dropping. We're talking about famous artists caught in super compromising situations. Not just one or two, but several high-profile names. And guess who's rumored to be holding on to a copy? That's right, 50 Cent. Word on the street is that 50's got his hands on some of those tapes, and he's holding them close, maybe waiting for the perfect moment to drop a bomb. Something strategic, something big. Don't forget, 50's already cooking up a full-blown Diddy expose documentary titled Diddy Do It. Netflix reportedly secured the rights, and according to insiders, it's dropping right after Diddy's trial wraps up.
In particular, Netflix docuseries that you've been working on, Diddy Do It.
Right.
You've been saying for years that you feel you knew Diddy's character.
Another clip from one of Diddy's flashy celeb-packed parties is already making waves online. And if you look close, you can clearly see the faces of the folks who were there.
Oh man, we got with fresh body.
This ain't rumor anymore. It's real and it's unraveling fast. Now, if those recordings are part of 50's upcoming documentary or even used as hard proof, it makes total sense why some folks have suddenly gone silent while others are scrambling behind the scenes. Speaking of videos, let's talk about this new viral clip. Diddy, Coi Leray, and Busta Rhymes all chilling in the same room. But the vibe? Super awkward. Coi looked visibly uncomfortable. Diddy had that weird too big grin on his face, and Busta, he straight up pushed Diddy like he was trying to play it off, but the tension was thick. There was something off about the timing, the body language, everything. At one point, Busta leaned in and sniffed Jeremy, and yeah, Jeremy tried to brush it off like it was no big deal, but he looked caught off guard. You can practically feel the discomfort oozing from the screen. Some fans tried to say Busta was just clowning around, but folks close to the situation are saying otherwise. This wasn't just playful energy, it felt off, like people were trying too hard to act normal in a room full of secrets. Meanwhile, 50 Cent is out here treating Diddy's legal drama like it's primetime TV. He's posting AI-edited skits of Diddy sitting on the witness stand like he's the star of Law & Order, hip-hop unit. He even clowned people showing up to court in free puffy shirts. This isn't slowing down, and 50's not letting up. He keeps teasing that Diddy Do It documentary like he's sitting on the final piece of the puzzle. So now all we can do is wait. Wait to see who else gets named. Wait to see how many more tapes are out there just waiting to drop. Because if what's already leaked is just the beginning, we haven't seen anything yet. So what's really going on between Diddy and Busta Rhymes? Is their connection way more twisted than they're letting on? And do you think there are even more videos out there, ones the public hasn't seen yet? Plus, who do you think 50 Cent's planning to put on blast next in that explosive documentary? Drop your thoughts in these comments. We need to hear what you think about all this madness. And don't forget, smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and share this with someone who needs to see it. Tap into the next video on your screen right now. Trust me, it only gets wilder from here. See you in the next one.